Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Modeling League Spike Magazine Trophy. We're in week number 7, and we have a double header for you this evening. It's been changed around a little bit since the beginning of the day, but we got two very good ones for you tonight. We're going to start off over in Division B. We have Mr. Yuck versus Nuffle to see here. Venger versus Clypheus. Nuffle versus Chaos Chosen. Let's take a look at the standings before we look at these very similar teams, shall we? Oh man. I had a very busy day. I had to get up early, which meant I didn't get a lot of sleep for a long commute to get some work done. We got some good work done. But then I realized toward the end of the day, the only thing I had consumed was a single can of soda. So I ended up with a real nasty headache, both a caffeine-induced and a dehydration-induced headache. And then I had a nasty commute back. But that's all right. I got some liquids in me. I took a little nap. I'm feeling good now. But the whole point of the story is I have not one but 2 glasses of water in front of me. Anyhow, enough of that. Let's look at in Division A. In first place is Dead Fred's Real American Heroes. The Dark Elf team 4-1-0 is their record. They are followed very closely behind by Nick Satan's Cenozoic Park. A Lizardman team 4-0-1 is their record. He will be up after tonight's game. He is the second game in the doubleheader. And in third place, S. Beavers, the Dead Poets. They are in third place with 12 points, just barely behind Cenozoic Park. 3-3-1 is their record. Cenozoic Park will be facing off against Street Fighters Turbo Max after this game this evening. That's Lizards versus Chaos Renegades. But we're going to get started over in Division B this evening. In first place, Doug, the Minotaurs, White Skull Windbreakers, an Orc team 5-1-0 is their record. A massive 16 points here in week number 7, followed by Eric's Alphitis Australis, a Wood Elf team. 4-1-0 is their record. Venger's Mr. Yuck, they're in third place. A Nurgle team 2-2-1 is their record. They're going to be facing off against Nuffle to see here tonight. Unfortunately, Nuffle to see here has been eliminated from this competition. It's really coming down to these top 5 teams. Those are the final 5 teams that will be able to earn a spot in the top 2 here in Division B. There are just 9 weeks in regular play here in Spike Magazine Trophy, and every team will play 8 of those 9 weeks. They'll have a bye for one of those weeks, so it's coming down to it here in week number 7. The top 2 teams from each division will advance to the top 4. Mr. Yuck, hoping to be one of them. They're going to be the home team this evening. They're coming in at a TV of 1,120,000 gold. They have a full 11-player roster. They have the big guy in Mr. Yuck himself, the Rot Spawn. They have 2 bloaters. They have 3 pestigores. They have they have 3 bloaters, 3 pestigores, and a whole bunch of linemen. 3 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. They're going to be up against this Chaos Chosen team. Nuffle to see here. They're the visiting team. 1,180,000 gold is their team value. They have 13 players on the roster. Unfortunately, 3 of them are injured. Presbyopia, myopia, and prosopagnosia. All 3 will not be starting this evening. And that means he's going to have to pick up a journeyman, which will effectively negate the TV tonight. That gives him 15K? 15K going back the other way. Not a lot of money. Really can't do anything with it. So it's going to come down to the matchups here tonight. 1 apothecary, 2 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. He has his big guy. He has 4 blockers and a whole bunch of linemen. These are 2 very similar teams, right? Nurgle is very chaosy with some interesting pitch control skills, right? They have disturbing presence. They have foul appearance. They're trying to mess up your die rolls, whereas Chaos Chosen has traditionally been a kill team, right? They're trying to pick up these mutations to murder you. So if we look at Nuffle to see here, right? He's got the big guy in the ogre here, rookie ogre, but does have mighty blow, strength 5 mighty blow. That's what a big guy's there for. We have a lot of strength. Try to injure some people, and if not, at the very least, try to stand up and control some pitch. He has the number 2 chosen blockers. So these chosen blockers all have a strength of 4. He has Mighty Blow on one of them, Claw on the other 2. Claw treats everybody as if they have an 8+ in armor value. So a very, very good skill. We've seen Mighty Blow time and time again. Also a great skill. Mighty Blow gives you a +1 to your armor or your injury roll. And then he's got all these linemen, right? So the linemen, he has a couple with block, one with block and Mighty Blow, another with Mighty Blow, another with guard, one with wrestle. These are all great skills. He has one with tackle, but really these pieces are defined by horns, right? So if he takes a blitz with any one of these beastmen, he's going to basically be blitzing with a strength of 4. So because he has so many players with horns, he doesn't really need to choose who that blitz is going to be. He's going to have lots of options to make that strength 4 blitz. Very, very strong skill on this Chaos Chosen team. 4 Mighty Blow players. He has 2 with guard, 2 with block, and 1 with tackle. This is fine. This is fine, right? He's trying to kit this team out, and this is certainly a way to do it. Presbyopia, however, that's the guard player. He's not going to be starting. Prosopagnosia, guard Mighty Blow player. He's not going to be starting. Myopia, the Fend player with Strip Ball, he will not be starting. So really, he's going to be down to 3 players with Mighty Blow, 2 players with Claw, a block player, a tackle player, and a journeyman in there. That is just really rough. That is really rough. I think Chaos teams get better at higher TV. They're weaker at lower TV. And he's going to be up against this skilled Nurgle team, right? So the Nurgle team, not terribly skilled, but they start with a bunch of these mutations, right? So they start with these pitch control skills we were talking about. Disturbing Presence, Foul Appearance, right? Disturbing Presence might play a factor in the passing game, but Foul Appearance will absolutely play a factor with those 3 bloaters and the Rot Spawn. Every time you try to take a block on these players, you roll a d6. If it's a 1, you're too disgusted by their looks. You say, you know what? I'm not actually going to do it. So this is sort of the opposite boneheaded, right? You can kind of make your opponent boneheaded with these, and this is scary for your opponent, right? Not only that, but on top of that, there's regen, or I guess in this case it's called plague ridden. I'm sorry, they have regen, and they have the undead, not regen, necro, right? Called plague ridden. So they have a bunch of players with regen, which means if you get a Kaz on them, there's a 50-50 shot it's not a Kaz at all. And then if they get a Kaz on you, if they kill you, a 15 or a 16 on the Kaz result, you might be playing for them. So they have, right, they get a lot out of their money, right? They can get their players back very easily for the money. They can get opposing players for the money. Pretty strong out of the gate, I think. It's just a little tricky because the skills that you pick up are these pitch control skills, and it can be a little tricky to work them in your favor. Venger's been doing a great job of that so far. Plus, he's got 3 players of his own with horns, right? So I think this Nurgle team has the ever so slight advantage on paper tonight, just because he starts out with skills that are fine if you can make them work. Venger can make them work. Whereas Clypheus does not start out with skills, and you can't make not starting out with skills work. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have the skills to make work, you can't make them work. So the way he wins this one tonight is he has to play solid Blood Bowl. He has to play the solid fundamental game. He's got to make sure that he's maximizing his die rolls. He's got to make sure that he's not giving up blocks that he doesn't want to give up. He's got to be making sure that his action order is on point. Venger has a little bit of an easier time. He can rely on some of these skills to force Clypheus to make some mistakes. Once he starts to make mistakes and starts to burn down those rerolls, Venger's going to be in an advantageous position, and I think that's how he wins this tonight. He doesn't have, I don't think he has the strength advantage. He only has 3 of the bloaters instead of 4 that Clypheus has. But you know, it's a fairly even matchup. I think these are two very similar teams, Chaos Chosen and Nurgle. But if I were a betting man, I'm going to give it to the Nurgle team tonight. But 2 excellent coaches as well. Clypheus, former league champion. Venger, always been at the top of the charts. It's going to be a good one way or another. Clear skies to get this game started. This is game 1 of 2, a doubleheader this evening. Eric Lionheart says this team has no block. Neither team has any block. I think the Chaos Chosen team has one player with block. Man, something's up with the volume in my headset. I don't know what it is, but it's very, very quiet. Oh, I know what it is. Where'd he get 120K? Oh man, my neighbor has a super yappy dog that sounds like it's being put through a wood chipper, and I hate it so much. All right, 120K. So something changed in right before the game. He's got 120K to spend. He's going to pick up 2 kegs. So this is going to make his KOs a 2+ instead of a 4+. Picked up 1 assistant coach as well. And Mr. Yuck's going to win the toss. Mr. Yuck electing to set up on defense to start this game. Setting up on defense allows you to control the momentum when you're up against two sort of, if you, maybe the speed is equal between both teams. You can try to either stop the score and score yourself, or you can try to force the score early on the opponent and then give yourself the rest of the game to win, right? You get the rest of the first half to try to tie it or come out ahead, and then you're going to start on offense in the second half, and you're going to try to stall that out and win and score again on turn 16 to win the game, either 2-1 or 2-0. Anchor defense here for Mr. Yuck. 3 of the linemen on the line, naturally. Mr. Yuck, it's his team. He's the sole linebacker on the roster. Looks like 5 are going to go on the line here for Nuffle to see here. Yes, indeed. So he has the Ogre, strength 5. He has the 2 chosen blockers with strength 5 as well. And if he wants to blitz with a Beastman, with a strength 4, excuse me. And if he wants to blitz with Beastman, that'd be another strength 4. But won't really need that. He can block down this entire line as is. He puts a blocker and a Beastman in the right wide zone on the line. That brings this line up to 7. Now up to 9 on the line. Nine on the line, 2 back to receive. Caratitis, one of the 2 kickoff return Beastmen here. He has the Mighty Blow skill. Here's the kick. Neither team has a kicker. Ball will deviate up to D6. Middling kick. Mr. Yuck earns the reroll in the brilliant coaching kickoff event. He picked up that extra coach in the inducement phase. 4 rerolls now for this Nurgle team. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Block number 1 of the game. That's a dead player. There's no regen on him. He's just dead. I mean, there is, but he's dead. See if he can do it again with Toilet Duck here. He cannot. Did I block on Windex? Gets a push here. Windex, the number 2 bloater. Eric Lionheart says no regen on routers. Yeah, there's no regen skill. But he does worship Grandfather Nurgle. 3-9 block at the line with the Ogre. Gets a push out of this. Gets a knockdown out of this on Pine Sol. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Boot Polish. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. I'm in bad shape here. I'm sorry. There you go. You should have game sound now. Failed the 3+ pickup here. We'll see if he lets this rock. I think he will. Yes, indeed he does. The ball's gonna scatter back to the 14-yard line, and now it's turn 1 for Mr. Yuck on defense. Mr. Yuck slithers back to Mark Carger, the number 6 journeyman beastman. That was the one journeyman that Quackers had to pick up for the game. Had a roster of 13, but 3 were injured, so he had to pick up 1 journeyman. Windex, the number 2 bloater. The bloaters are akin to the chosen blockers. It's going to move out in the right wide zone. Oh, I was trying to fix the audio on my headset, and I like crashed the app. I got the audio up a little bit. Alright, turn 2. Turn 2 back to Nuffle to see here. Got another removal. It's 3 removals for Nuffle to see here. They have a 3-man player advantage. The Razer application does not like being manipulated while I'm using the device, apparently. I don't know how you're supposed to test the volume without using it. Three Beastmen now over in the right wide zone. Has 2 assists on Windex. Make this a 2-die block on Windex if he wants to take it with the Journeyman. Couple to see here. Moving forward, taking marks. This suggests he might be taking a block with the Ogre. Yeah, there it is. Has to be a little careful with these blocks with the Ogre. Doesn't have the block skill on the Ogre. If he fails the block, he could end up with an alt turn. He could end up with an Ogre with no tackle zones. Yeah, and there's that foul appearance we were talking about. So, failed the foul appearance roll. Needs to let this one slide, but will lose his blitz out of it. May not seem like a big deal, but again, think of it. Think of the big deal when you're rolling your big guys with boneheaded or with really stupid, and how much it's bitten you. This is that, just in the opposite direction. There's that 2-die block by the Journeyman on Windex. He'll get a POW out of this. It's a knockdown, doesn't break armor. Needs a big 10+ to break the armor of those bloaters. El Nubarino says, man, I get here 5 minutes late and I miss a death. You do. But hey, I might still have it in the replay queue. Let's see. Let's see if I can give it to you. Turn 1 block. There it is. Just for you, El Nubarino. Welcome to the stream. That was the very first hit. Yes, sir. Very first hit. Dead. We talk about praying to Nuffle. He did not. He did not pray hard enough to Nurgle. Two-die block by Lemon Pledge will be a POW against the Journeyman Beastman here. Two-die Blitz with Horns gets a POW on Strabismus. This is the injured Beastman runner over in the right wide zone. Push to the sideline. Frenzy follow-up. Well done by Mr. Yuck. Using those skills to his advantage. Saw the surf opportunity. And was able to capitalize. Oh man. Sometimes if I don't let the videos save out, I'll try to access it too early and ruin the file. Had to rush Tide Pod back to get a little bit of protection, or else Tide Pod would be in danger of a surf. Mr. Yuck's gonna slither in place to mark a couple of these cast players, Stereognosis and Decriostenosis over in the right wide zone. All right, getting into the thick of it here on turn 3. 3 players still in the secondary, but now everyone else tied up, other than just a couple of Chaos players. Keratitis, the ball carrier, and Proprioception, the number 3 blocker with Claw, are still free to activate, or free. Everyone's free to activate. They're available to move freely. Two-die block with the Ogre here to get things started, gets a push. Risky first turn action. Is able to keep the drive alive. Pushes out a little bit of a pocket here at center pitch. And now looking to set up his blocks. This is what Clypheus needs to do in this game. Just because he's, in my opinion anyway, he's the slight underdog in this game. Got the knockdown, so he needs to be setting up these blocks in a way that maximizes the return he's getting. Now the blitz, the two-die blitz on Mr. Yuck. He'll get a knockdown here. Remember, it's not a 10+ to break armor. It's an 8+ thanks to Claw, but did not do it. Just got the 7. Advances the ball across the line of scrimmage now. The ball on the opposing 2-yard line. And a little bit of a scrum here, just to the right of center pitch. Tries to tighten up the cage a bit. Now turn 3 back to Mr. Yuck. This game was originally scheduled for 9:30, I think. The game that was supposed to be played now got switched around at the last minute due to life, things getting in the way, which is totally fine. So this game got moved up, but there was another game that was going to be played that wasn't going to be aired and is now going to be aired, and that's why we still have the doubleheader. So props to the coaches for making everything work out for the rest of us, so we could watch these games and enjoy this rad game of Blood Bowl. Only Bruna says, not used to seeing Clypheus clump up guys like that. Yeah, Clypheus usually, I'd consider him a pitch control coach. He likes to spread out. He likes to exert tackle zones and control sections of the pitch. But here, he's looking to stay grouped up. Oh, no. No, no, no. What a huge loss for Mr. Yuck here. Re-rolled the die. Was looking for more than a push. Re-rolled into double skulls. Got knocked down and injured in the process. And now Mr. Yuck has lost their big guy for the rest of the game. Lemon Pledge. Or not Lemon Pledge. Wait, is that not the big guy? That's not the big guy. That's Mr. Yuck. I'll learn what game we're in eventually. Still, let's lost Lemon Pledge. That was one of the bloaters. That's a strength 4 piece. But that was a claw piece. That was a big piece that he had on this roster. All right, boot polish. Fair enough. Touche. Man, my head hurt. Uh-oh, did I just lose the mic? Oh, no, I didn't. All right. Old Gamer Mike says, I seem to hate Yuck today. Yeah, the ball's gonna move through the gap here and advance the opposing 12-yard line now on the right side of the pitch. Three die block with the Ogre. He's got to take a push out of this. Doesn't have the block skill. Nuffle to see here. Doing a great job of maximizing their dice. Remember, Mr. Yuck has two kegs, so these knockout rolls are going to be a 2+ instead of a 4+. Final turn of the first quarter, Mr. Yuck to reposition Mr. Yuck, the rot spawn, on this in this left wide zone just off the sideline. He's going to mark the player protecting the ball carrier to the right. But the whole defense is behind, so he's going to have to hope this 2-die blitz works out. He gets a push. I think he's going to go for more here. Spends the reroll, only got a push out of it. Push and a skull, re-rolled into a push and a skull. The ball's going to remain in the hands of Caratitis. He'll have to follow up to keep the ball player marked, the ball carrier marked. Fails a rush with Ajax Powder Cleanser. Boy, another failed rush, and now he's down to 1 reroll for the half here. Or failed die roll, rather. Moves Windex into positions, marking a bunch of players on the right. Good dodge to get Mr. Clean multi-surface in front of the cage here, but still can't really protect all corners. But he can when that happens! Nuffle giveth, Nuffle taketh away. Null turn for Nuffle to see here. Didn't have the block skill, had to re-roll the both down results. And now Mr. Yuck's going to have an opportunity to come back at this ball. There's the knockdown. Knock the ball out of the hands of the ball carrier into the hands of Mr. Yuck. He will not spend this final reroll on this, although that would be hilarious. Oh, and the ball, man, somehow is going to end up in the hands of Dacryostenos, the number 12 Beastman runner. But now he's going to take a block. Ooh, it's going to have to be a push. take another block here. At least one. Yeah, he's gonna try to knock him down here. Oh no. Yeah, has to spend the final reroll. Here's a push. Frenzy follow-up coming up. Man, he'll have to push this as well. Try to set up for the surf. Yes, indeed. Now he's gonna get the block with Mr. Yuck. He's gonna take it with horns instead. Oh, he doesn't want the ball going out of bounds. Oh, man. Oh, boy. What a series of events. Oh, man. Had a turn all set up, trying to knock down the ball carrier. Wanted to keep that ball where it was. Rushed in for the blitz. Failed the rush. Turn 6 now for Nuffle to see here. Oh boy. But Father says the first rule of mammals, don't rush. And the second rule of mammal, the more important rule, don't rush. Wait until people find out that Cyanide gave us in the admin tools, like, ways to change the odds on things. I'm just kidding, they didn't. Don't yell at me. Failed the foul appearance roll here. And so Toilet Duck is going to be, man, my Baltimore accent almost came out there. Toilet Duck. Toilet Duck's gonna remain prone on the ground. Elder Brutus says, hey, where was the emergency GFI warning? SBR usually triggers that. Ball carrier blitz. Gets a push at it. We'll follow up. Now he's going to try to dodge away. Got to get through the tentacles of Mr. Yuck, as disgusting as that is. And he will. Gonna rush into the end zone. Fails the rush. Oh no! What are the 2 rules of mammal? Failed the rush, spent the reroll, failed the rush again. There's SPBer with the emergency rush warning. Thank you for the bits. And now a 3+ pickup by Mr. Clean, multi-surface. Mr. Yuck on defense is going to recover this ball in their own end zone. And if they want to score, they got a ways to go, and they're in a bit of a muck here. Well, you know what? Mr. Yuck likes to be in the muck, so they're in a bit of a scrum. But even if they don't score, stopping the score here, that's job number 1. Primary objective met. So we'll see if they can indeed stop it for 2 more turns. They advance the ball up to their own 20-yard line. Now 2-die block against the number 2 blocker. This will be a knockdown. Boo Polish, why don't we just make it everything is a coin toss? Anytime you need to roll dice, it's a coin toss. Two-die block, 2-die block on blepharospasm here. Frenzy follow-up into a push. Push into a push. And now Mr. Yuck on the bonus block for the first time this evening. I'd play ultra defensive. So, we joke. However, there's a fighting game, one of my favorite fighting games, in fact, called Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which is kind of that way. So they introduced a mechanic in Third Strike called parrying. So, you know, you hold back to block. In Street Fighter, in Third Strike, well, in any Street Fighter 3 game, whose half is this? This is Nuffle to see here's half. They were on offense, they've lost the ball. They introduced a mechanic called parrying, and this is, instead of holding back to block, if you tap forward right as you're about to get hit, you basically get sort of, you get advantage, right? It's as if you take no damage whatsoever. It's as if you blocked, but there's no chip damage, and you sort of, you're I don't know how to describe it without going into super details, but you're basically you're plus. You have the advantage. You're able to hit your opponent back immediately, and so every button you press in that game is scary because it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a normal, a special button. It doesn't matter if it's a full super combo. There's a very famous video called Evo Moment 37 where you see two great players. One player parries this entire 15-hit super combo. But that's the reason I like that game, is because being on offense is always a risk. Like, if you're going to hit a button, you need to make sure that button is going to mean something, or else you're going to be in trouble, because everything's parryable. Carger, the journeyman, is going to move back to Mark Stenosis. He's the current ball carrier. Stand-up blitz by Mr. Clean. Multi-surface is going to get a pal here. Can he try to recover this ball and score? It's going to go into the hands of that journeyman. He will not spend a reroll on this, and the ball is going to bounce back to the 16-yard line. SPB recess. There goes my strategy of hitting buttons all the time. It's never a good idea to hit buttons, period, in a fighting game. But yeah, in Third Strike, in Street Fighter 3, it's like a whole other, it's a whole other thing. Like, everything, you could lose the game on anything, on any touch. So there's lots of strategies that evolve around that. You try to bait out moves from people, and oh, it's just so cool. Turn 7 for Mr. Yuck. They've lost the ball here after the successful blitz by the would-have-been scoring beastman, Stenosis. Two-die block on Keratitis behind the ball will be a push. Boy, took a one-die block here against the big chosen blocker with Mighty Blow. He's going to get a POW out of this. One-die blitz, rather. Takes the follow-up, and now might try to recover the ball. This got magnets free from proprioception. Whenever you're marked and you try to move away, that's a dodge. But if you are marked by someone and you take a block and you follow up on that block, that's not a dodge. So that's a good way to get players free from the tackle zones of an opposing player. Not going to go for the ball pickup. Just trying to keep it out of the hands of Nuffle to see here. Oh, this is a bad time to fail that really stupid roll. Mr. Yuck is going to remain in place and lose his tackle zones. Two-die uphill block on number 4. Double pals here. We'll see if this means anything. But praise Nuffle. Now a one-die. Nuffle says you tempted fate too far, lad. Final turn of the first half. Nuffle to see here. desperately wants to score. They were on offense to start. Can they do it? Yeah, well, Boo Polish, when you mentioned there was no game audio, I looked down and I saw that I enabled voice chat. So thankfully, nobody was saying something untoward on Discord. Well, I wasn't in channel anyway, but still. Minute 9 on the clock for Nuffle to see here. They're trying to figure... Yes, sir! Clive is showing off in the picture-in-picture. Blitz to get things started. It's going to knock down Magnets. And now the 2-die block on Mr. Clean multi-surface. This is going to be a push. Probably wants something a little more out of this. Thinking about spending the re-roll. Nope, he's going to push him off the ball toward the end zone. This means Dacryostenosis is going to have to be the one to score. Failed the 3+. He has the re-roll. Didn't work out. Mr. Yuck has succeeded in stopping the score here in the first half. Well done. Hard fought by both coaches there. After 4 removals in favor of Nuffle to see here, Mr. Yuck was still able to hold down the fort and stop the score. I haven't had an opportunity to spin up Homeworld 3 yet. I mean, I'm very excited to. I tried to replay the remake of Homeworld 1, but kind of like Deus Ex, like the remaster or whatever, they didn't update the controls, and the controls are very dated. So I got very confused. I would like to give it an honest shot again. 50-50 dodge. I wouldn't have risked that. But fair enough. 0-0 is the score at the end of the first half. Mr. Yuck, they're going to be on offense to start the second half of this game. They got back their 2 KO players. That was a 2+ on each because he has 2 kegs. Nuffle to see here to set up their defense. Yeah, it released yesterday, I think. It's going to be a 2-man player advantage for Nuffle to see here. They're going to be on defense. I never played the Homeworld that wasn't in space. I have it on Steam, but I've never played it. I don't remember what it's called. Desert of something, Arnak or something. Yeah. Well, now you know it's out. I need to put more time into Jagged Alliance 3. It is awesome. It's really good, especially after that long run of really bad Jagged Alliance games. Jagged Alliance 3 is great. All right, shallow defense spread wide here by Nuffle to see here. They're giving up the 2 sidelines. They're not up against a passing sort of team. These are 2 very rushing-oriented teams. Nuffle to see here is going to have a 2-man player advantage. That means 9 to set up here for Mr. Yuck. I mean, I've also been playing Alien Chronicle, which is absolutely marvelous for someone who likes Suikoden. Oh man, that's one of those rare games where like every minute of it has been pure fun for me. I just love it so much. R.I.P. to Yoshitaka Murayama, the creator of the game, and Suikoden passed away in February, I think. Shallow kick here. Quick snap, rolls 2 on the D3. 5 players get to move, 5 unmarked players get to move 5 spaces here for Mr. Yuck. I imagine they'll move at least 2. We'll move Ajax Powder Cleanser up to the line of scrimmage in the left wide zone. Windex is going to move up 1 space. Is there like a divot in the pitch here? Like, what's going on here? Just move the 2. The ball's going to end up on the 10. Turn 9 now for Mr. Yuck. Mr. Yuck's going to move the Ajax Powder Cleanser. Had that 1 space of free movement thanks to the kickoff event. He's going to move forward to mark the 2 players in the left wide zone. Gets around them for the blitz, but is going to have to spend a reroll on this first block of the half. Double skulls into a push. Is it really? Takes a 1 die, gets another push here. Frenzy follow-up into a skull again. He's down to 1 reroll for the game. He will get the surf on the journeyman. Good surf here. He's removed this player from the game, but if he has it his way, this will be the final drive. Except for the turn 16 defensive turn, of course. Had to burn through 2 rerolls here for the surf. But he's reduced that player advantage now to a 1-man player advantage. 10v9 on the pitch. Good 3+ pickup by Mr. Clean multi-surface. He's the number 6 Pestigore. Pestigores are the ball carriers on this roster. And has naturally kitted out Mr. Clean that way. Has sure hands, so he gets the reroll. 2-die block on Conjunctivitis. Gets a POW over on the right side of the line. Oh my God, look at this guy. Oh, I hate it. Oh. Turn 9 for Nuffle to see here. Like, the model's fine. It's the moving eyeballs. Oh. Oh. Takes a 2-die. Mr. Yuck gets a push. Gotta get a POW in the center here. Little snake eyes on the armor roll, and now a 2-die on the final remaining lineman. Get a push out of this. Successfully repositions the ogre. Remember, every activation of that ogre is a boneheaded roll, where he needs a 2+ in order to take the activation. 2-die block in the left wide zone is going to knock down Magnets. Magnets was the blitzer who came in to try to set up that surf. Two-die block on Mr. Yuck. Got a POW here. Knocking down Mr. Yuck is huge. Oh, broke armor. Got a KO. And so that is the big guy gone. Wow. Back up to a 2-man player advantage for Nuffle to see here. Big gain. Got the hit with mighty blow. Ends the turn, taking a block for a knockdown. Gets a stun out of it. Turn 10 for Mr. Yuck. Stand up blitz. His double pushes in the left wide zone. It's a big turn for Mr. Yuck. Defense bearing down on the ball carrier. Fenger's going to have to make a decision on this turn. It's so early in the half. Boy, oh boy. Final reroll is going to be spent here into another push. Mr. Yuck with no rerolls remaining. Venger's probably telling himself it was supposed to be Nuffle to see here who would lose their rerolls. I am so disgusting. I have foul appearance. Hands off to Tide Pod. Good handoff on the left sideline. Tide Pod, the number 5 Pestigore. Frenzy Pestigore. Has set up a little bit of a pocket here. Certainly not safe, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Really? There we go. 2-9 blitz. Oh yeah, Tide Pod's gonna get knocked down here. We'll see if the ball stays on the pitch. The ball does. It's gonna scatter to the 12-yard line. Recovered by Blepharospasm, the number 10 Beastman runner. Two-eye block back at center pitch is a pal. Nuffle to see here with a distinct advantage. Breaks armor on the ogre block. Gets a KO out of it. Wow. Now it's a 3-man player advantage for Nuffle to see here. Nuffle to see here with a distinct advantage. They have all their rerolls. Their opponent has none. Turn 11 for Mr. Yuck. Ha 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 ha. So Mr. Clean multi-surface is still clear. He's going to blitz with Mr. Clean multi-surface. Oh, into a push. He has no rerolls. Went for the blitz in this direction. Didn't want to start for ball carrier. He was afraid of where that ball would have scattered. But honestly, I might take anywhere but here. fails the dodge. 3+ dodge. Magnets. It's going to be prone. Turn 11 now for Nuffle to see here. They have control of the ball with number 10, but now Mr. Clean multi-surface almost certainly going to be surfed. Here it is. 2-die blitz. He's got the POW. Well done. 4-man player advantage for Nuffle to see here. And now they're in excellent shape. Life is going to advance the ball to center pitch. Has a number of players to keep this ball carrier safe. He's going to take the block on Ajax Powder Cleanser first. Gets a push out of this. Setting up these docks? These blocks. I saw toilet duck and I said docks. Just trying to get the knockdowns, trying to get Kaz, trying to push players out of the way to exert control over the pitch. 2-die block on Pine Sol. He'll get a knockdown here. Pulls in Hemianopsia, number 13 Beastman over the right side. Fails the boneheader roll with the Ogre. Turn 12 now for Mr. Yuck. What's the plan? Not going to risk anything with Tide Pod. Just stands him up, moves him over a couple of spaces. Stand-up blitz on Conjunctivitis will be a push. He will not follow up. Probably marks him with Tide Pod. No, not going to mark him with Tide Pod. So he's going to push Conjunctivitis toward the play. And now he has a little bit of movement with Magnets. He's going to move him in to take a mark to get the assist on the block on number 2. But first, a 2-die on Dacryosteosis Stenosis. Gets a POW on the number 10 Beastman. Taking the blocks, but what's the play for defense here? Because if this ball carrier gets away from him, he's not going to be able to stop the score. Ooh, 50-50 dodge by Toilet Duck. Another 50-50 dodge. Scrubbing Bubbles bubbly bleach gel will successfully dodge away as well. They're going to be the safeties against this this marauding offense. Old Gamer Mike says, I think he may not have a plan to score, but may wish to force the score. Maybe so. Maybe so, and try to draw this game out. Turn 12, final turn of the third quarter. Nuffle to see here in a very strong spot here. We saw a great defensive effort by Mr. Yuck in the first half. Was able to stop the score by Nuffle to see here, but Clypheus wants a second shot at it. Was able to recover on defense after a series of unfortunate die rolls for Mr. Yuck that saw Wenger have to spend all of his die rolls, all of his team rerolls early. Big loss here for Nuffle to see here. They're going to lose the Chaos Ogre again, so he's going to have to pull in one more player to keep the ball carrier safe. That's going to involve one more die roll, but there it is. And another removal. 5-man player advantage now for Nuffle to see here. Commanding player advantage. They're in a great position on the pitch. Their opponent has no rerolls left. Not only that, but some of these removals are key players, right? Well, Bloater with Claw, the big guy. So Nuffle to see here in great shape to try to stall this out until turn 16. I think we'll probably see Tide Pod stay back here somewhere as a potential scoring threat. 2-die Blitz, double pals on Scrubbing Bubbles Bubbly Bleach Gel, but no armor break. Now 2-die block on Magnets. We get a knockdown and push Magnets to the sideline. Fourth quarter begins here for Mr. Yuck. They are absolutely on the back foot. Can they make something happen here? They have 5 players left on the pitch. Not trying to go for the blitz. Failed the rush. Because of course you did. It's a rush after all. That's a null turn for Mr. Yuck. Had to do something. It's just a handful of players left on the pitch. Turn 13 now for Nuffle to see here. Nuffle to see here is going to park this ball on the 24. 2-die block against Ajax Powder Cleanser. Will be a knockdown. Coming up after this game is going to be Cenozoic Park versus Street Fighters Turbo Max. Nick Satan versus Ian. That's Lizards versus Chaos Renegades. That's scheduled for 9:30 this evening, so that's about 40 minutes from now. I think we probably won't cut the stream. We'll just the streams normally start 25 minutes before the scheduled time of the game, so we'll probably just roll into the normal countdown. Oh, Gamer Mike says, did someone grease the pitch? Reposition some players to keep the ball carrier safe. Turn 14 now for Mr. Yuck. Takes the 1-die blitz. Gets a push. He'll get a frenzy follow-up out of this into another 1-die. Gets another push. I've never seen so many pushes in my life. SP Beaver says it's just Nurgle slime. But I read that out of the corner of my eye as it's Nurgle time. Pestigore, Bloater, Rot Spawn, Pterodactyl. It's Nurglin time. Okay, Mike says, was Yuck the underdog? Yes, by a... during the pregame, it was 15K, unless I did the math wrong, but it ended up being 120K. Failed dodge, turn 14 for Nuffle to see here. They'll take their blocks. Boy, 2 dive blitz and a double pals on Tide Pod. Looking for an 8+ with Mighty Blow, doesn't get it. Oh, he's just gonna score. All right, he's gonna score here. 1-0. Nuffle here takes the lead. Was spooked by the Nurgle team. What are you talking about? He has 2 kegs. You know what it is? You know what it is? It's because Mr. Yuck worships Nurgle instead of Nuffle. That's what's happening. He has 2 kegs. That means all these KO rerolls are a 2+. He had 3 KOs. He only got back 1. So I think that's 10v7. Yeah, 10v7 on the pitch. 3-man player advantage for Nuffle to see here. Mr. Yuck's going to get a second opportunity on offense to try to draw this game. Fenger, what did you do to offend Nuffle? Here's the kick. Middling kick. Oh, it's a pitch invasion. It's a pitch invasion. Cool. What is happening? Oh, 2 players for Nuffle to see here stunned with the pitch invasion. The 3+ pickup with sure hands failed with Mr. Clean multi-surface. Okay. And now Nuffle the Senior is gonna win this. At least 1-0. Oh, my heart goes out. I mean, it's also really funny, but oh man. Sends Keratitis back toward the ball. May as well send Decorative Stenosis down to, yeah, 2 dive blitz. It's not going to work out, but you've got 3 rerolls. Oh, only got a push out of it. Push him onto the ball. Give the man a chance. Rushes into position to mark the ball. Two dive block on Windex, gets a POW. 8+. Oh man. Holy smokes. Hey, finally a regen. Got the POW. Would have been an injury, but not with the blessings of Nurgle. Pushes Toilet Duck 1 space back. Just taking blocks at this point. Sends Strabismus down pitch as well. Failed the Boneheaded roll with the Ogre. And Nystagmus here, the number 2 chosen blocker, is going to move forward, and that'll be the turn. Turn 16 for Mr. Yuck. They cannot score. At the very least, they can stop Nuffle to see here from getting the second touchdown, but boy, it's going to be rough. I don't know if you actually want to try and risk your level 2 Pestigore with 7 SPP to do so. Well, you tried. That's a turnover. What else can you do? Turn 16 for Nuffle to see here. They have an opportunity to go up 2-0. SPP rest. Does the regen take away the injury SPP? It does not. Now, if you get 2 SPP for Kaz, you still get the 2 SPP. 2 rerolls. Nuffle to see here might be trying to maximize the amount of SPP he gets out of this. Looking for those blocks before he goes for the score. Has plenty of time on the bonus block if he wants to take his time here on turn 16. Oh, failed the rush. Not like this. There it is. Nuffle to see here to score one last time. They're gonna win this game 2-0. Congratulations. There's the KO. Congratulations to Nuffle to see here. Big win. Wow, those stats were really delayed, or that that fact was really delayed. And with that win, Nuffle to see here is going to be in 6th place. 1-3-2 is their record. They bump up a little bit. Mr. Yuck is going to stay put. Oh no, Mr. Yuck! Mr. Yuck bumps down to 4th place. They are 2 TDs behind the Harlequins, so the Harlequins BBFC, they are going to advance into 3rd place. Wow. Wow. Very hotly contested Division P. But next up, we have Division A coming up in about 25 minutes. So we are going to watch Cenozoic Park versus Street Fighter Turbo Max. In 25 minutes. We're not going to cut the stream. We're going to just going to kick over to the 15-minute timer as if the stream were just beginning, and we'll let it rock. So grab yourself something to drink, something to eat, wash your face. I don't know what people do. and the pregame's going to start at 9:20, so about 15 minutes from now. We'll get into the pregame for this second match this evening. Cenozoic Park versus Street Fighter Turbo Max. That's Lizards versus Chaos Renegades. That'll be a fun, bashy one. So don't miss it. We'll see you back here in about 25 minutes. Take care, everybody.